In talking to some people from there, they had no developers pushing this ordinance whatsoever. They decided to put this ordinance in because they were getting one put at their school. And so when they put this ordinance in, they had no developers there saying, or any outside influence basically saying, we have to have these setbacks, those setbacks, this setback. So their design standards is the height permitted, the maximum total height of the wind turbine will be 400 feet, including the blade in vertical position is one of the setbacks. Noise emissions. Noise emissions from the operation of the wind turbine and testing facility should not exceed 45 decibels on a dBA scale as measured at the nearest property line or road. A baseline noise emission study at the proposed site and impact upon all areas within 1 mile of the proposed wind turbine location must be done at the applicant's cost prior to any placement of any wind turbines and submitted to the township. The applicant must also provide estimated noise levels to property lines at the time of special use application. Like I said, this isn't up in the thumb, this isn't any place else, this is in our county. Abandonment. Any wind testing facility not used for 6 successive months or longer should be deemed to be abandoned and shall be promptly dismantled, removed from the property. All above and below ground materials must be removed, and the ground must be restored to its original condition within 60 days of abandonment. There's security issues here. Road repair. Any damage to public roads located within the township result from the construction, maintenance, or operation of the wind facility shall be repaired to the applicant's extent. Liability. Applicant shall insure each wind tower at all times for at least $2 million. In 2005, dollars based on the federal CPI for liability to cover the applicant, township, and landowner. Strobe effects. All efforts shall be made not to affect any resident with any strobe effect. Under no circumstance shall a wind turbine or testing produce any vibrations or wind currents humanly perceptible beyond the property boundaries of the lot or parcel on which the wind turbine and testing facility is located. The applicant shall be responsible for compensations to persons damaged due to any stray voltage caused by the wind turbine or the wind turbine facility. At the township request, the applicant shall fund an environmental assessment or impact study or any other relevant reports or studies, including but not limited to assessing the potential impact of endangered species, eagles, birds, and all other wildlife, as required by the township for review by the township regarding the area and surrounding areas where the wind turbines will be placed. Each such study or report shall be provided to the township before the time when the Planning Commission makes the final decision regarding the special use permit. And that's basically it. So there's a local ordinance there that was done without what local people would probably say the benefit of the developer coming in and telling them what they want. It's basically, business came in as they did it independently without that, and these are the setbacks that they came up with. So just so you guys know, that's something I came up with here in the last week. So, all right, that's the end of it.
Do we know if Rome has any installed?
They have one at the high school, and now they have currently went and said no more wind turbines or exterior wood burning facilities in the town of Onstead. The city of Onstead, which is in Rome Township, the village of or whatever. There's no personal wind turbines allowed, and you know.
Do you know why they passed that?
I think
I saw the article, but I didn't know.
I have no idea. I didn't pose that question, but I probably should have. But basically, that's where it's at. They did come up with that in 2009. It is on their website for Rome Township.
Right, but that
Why they stopped?
the ordinance to ban any further turbines with wood fires was just recently.
Yeah, that was just a couple weeks ago. So.
Yeah.
No, I did not ask that question. It was more about what this and whether or not they did it with any developer, any outside interest trying to push the ordinance and where they came up with their numbers, and basically they did it independently. They came up with those. And it sounds like they tried to protect the non-participants if there was anybody to come in. So yeah, that's the end of my stuff. So I told you to be quick, but it was only 15 minutes.
Anyone else?
Eric, were you going to?
That one we've already did. The Carlville, the epidemiology. I think I put everybody to sleep with that for about 45 minutes last meeting. So
this is just This is a summary of evidence of adverse health effects of industrial wind turbines from August 2011 by Carmen Crow and Brett Orman. This is from Canada, and they're addressing I'm not sure who they're addressing, but
It's
basically.
basically a summary, I got it too, and it's basically a summary of the new evidence that's been out there, and it's based off of the bulletin of science, and it's basically off that bulletin below you, it's called the bulletin of science, that they went and produced like 11 different studies done, and this is a summary of all the new evidence on that.
Right, okay. So the conclusion of this summary, based on the best available evidence, the following conclusions can be made. The Canadian Wind Energy Association sponsored statements that industrial wind turbines do not pose a risk of adverse health effects on humans are scientifically correct. Experts who have conducted original research and have published peer-reviewed articles in scientific journals confirm that industrial wind turbines can harm human health if they are not cited properly. Acknowledged health effects include annoyance, stress, sleep disturbance, headache, tinnitus, ear pressure, dizziness, vertigo, nausea, visual blurring, rapid heartbeat, irritability, problems with concentration, memory, and panic episodes associated with sensations of internal pulsation or quivering when awake or asleep. Other adverse impacts include reduced well-being, degraded living conditions, and adverse societal and economic impacts. These adverse impacts culminate in expressions of a loss of fairness and social justice. The above impacts in conclusion 3 represent a serious degradation of health in accordance with commonly accepted definitions of health as defined by the World Health Organization and the Ottawa Charter for Health Promotion. It is expected that typical setbacks and with the noise study approach currently being used in Ontario to approve the siting of industrial turbines, a non-trivial percentage of exposed individuals will experience serious degradation of health. Harm to human health can be avoided with science-based regulations based on research conducted on human response to industrial wind turbine exposure. Experts who have conducted original research and or published peer-reviewed articles in scientific journals confirm that research is required to establish scientifically based industrial wind turbine regulations to protect human health. Until scientifically based research has been conducted, industrial wind turbines should not be sited in proximity to human habitation.
And we also have to understand that that's why I brought the Ontario document, is that they have their setbacks at 550 meters, which is 1,700 feet or 1,700 some from the occupied structure. And they were trying, the case was there as they're trying to push them back. And Ontario's Board of Health or whatever the judge did define in here, I believe, and he did say in here that basically that while the appellants were not successful in their appeals, the tribunal notes that their involvement and that the respondent and that of the respondent has served to advance the state of debate about wind turbines and human health. This case has successfully shown that the debate should not be simplified to one about whether turbines can cause harm to humans. The evidence presented to the tribunal demonstrates that they can, if facilities are placed too close to residents. The debate has now evolved to one of degree. So that's basically, and that's from the Environmental Review Tribunal decision in Ontario. So they're saying it does cause health effects, and they were, like I said, their setbacks are 550 meters. So. All right. Unless they all take it.
I have a lot of time to do this week.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so going forward, I mean, we talked about this last time, about actually starting to develop our report. And I thought about it to try to come up with, how to approach it. So what I've come up with is a 3-phase process for reporting. The first phase is to prepare a list of definitions for terms that might be used in our summary report. I know going through some of these ordinances from other townships and counties, that almost every one of them has a section for definitions.
Right.
I think I would like to do that as our phase one, would be to come up with a list of definitions. Phase two is I would like us to develop a report that lists out all of our positive and negative impacts and provides the responses that we've received, whether from the three wind developers or from other stakeholders. Within that section, so we have our first impact. Then below that, we would have a list of, the responses from each of the developer, and then the response from other stakeholders that we've received that would relate to that impact. Then we would go on to the next impact, and we would go through and develop a list like that. Then the third phase would be to actually prepare our comprehensive report of the information that we've discovered and presented. And that report will be organized by major category. It will list the findings along with a cross-reference on the summary report to index it back to a document, to a specific document, and even page and further reference like that, in order to pinpoint it and to make it easier for the township board to go back through and review this information. And then along with this listing of the information that we found, within that same category, we would also provide recommendations to the township board for consideration of that matter when formulating the regulatory ordinance. Now it's my intention is that, as each of these three phases, the documents from each of the three phases are ready and we're comfortable with them, that we would provide them to the township board.
For their review?
Yeah. So once we get phase one done, we won't wait to roll it up to the township board until we get phase three done. As we get it done, we'll roll it up to the board at the next meeting.
Right, Norris had suggested that, and I thought that was a good idea to start giving them the information.
That way
so everything goes.
we start giving it to them. So phase one, I want to begin that tonight, to developing the definitions for terms, and I'm thinking the best way to do it is to go through the records we have and pull out the documents to have them, and then we'll put it onto a word processing file and see where it goes from there. But so that's, and then what we'll do is we'll go through phase one and then the remaining phases after that. But that way we can start providing the township board with information relating to this process. The list of definitions, we'll start getting them familiar with some of the information that they'll be seeing or reading. So that's the intention behind that.
Right, that way they understand, everybody understands what these terms are, because each company uses a different, like I said, one calls it a wind energy conversion system, another one calls it a wind energy, they're different terms, and we got to settle on which one's easiest for everybody to understand,